The Bible is like a family album full of stories about faith, history, and the relationship between God and humanity. The first 5 books are also called the Torah or the Law. They are the foundation of faith. These 5 books tell how God created the world and how humanity got into trouble. They describe the history of Abraham and his family, who were chosen by God to become a people who live in His name. This people, Israel, eventually ended up as slaves in Egypt, but were freed by God under the leadership of Moses. In the desert, they received the law, which are guidelines for living as God's people. Eventually, they went to the Promised Land. The core of these books is, God is a deliverer, and He wants His people to serve Him and live good and honest lives. After the first 5 books, a series of historical books follow. In these, we read how the people of Israel settled in the Promised Land, and how the people were led by judges, kings, and prophets. There are moments of faithfulness to God, but also periods when Israel strayed and turned away from God. Despite their mistakes, God remains true to His promise. Then we come to the poetic and wisdom books. These books offer insight into life and faith. These books, including Psalms and Proverbs, contain songs, prayers, and wisdom that help people live with God and with each other. The Jews often use these texts during festivals and worship services. A large part of the Old Testament consists of prophetic books. The prophets called on Israel to remain faithful to God and reminded them that they had a special mission, to show the whole world who God is. When Israel fails in this, the prophets warn that there will be consequences, but they also give hope for restoration. Where the Old Testament lays the foundation, the New Testament shows how Jesus continues this mission. Jesus is born in Israel and takes up the old mission again. He shows the world who God is. He heals the sick, teaches people, and speaks about love and forgiveness. Eventually, He dies on the cross and rises from the dead, opening the way for all people to belong to God. After Jesus' resurrection, His followers, the apostles, begin to spread the good news. In the book of Acts, we read how the first Christian communities came into being and how the message about God spread from Israel to the rest of the world. Then there are 22 letters from apostles like Paul who give advice and explanation to believers in different cities like Rome, Corinth, and Ephesus. The Bible is primarily a Jewish book, full of stories about the people of Israel. But according to these stories, it's not about origin, but about faith. Abraham was called by God and was promised that he would become the father of a great nation. But that nation is not based solely on blood ties. Everyone who believes in the God of Abraham is, as it were, adopted into his family. That's why the Bible is not just a book for Jews, but also for Christians and everyone who is looking for the truth about God. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, Jew, Muslim, atheist, or agnostic. According to the Bible, everyone who believes in God can become a child of Abraham and be part of this family of faith.